Today you'll get the latest updates on ChatGPT's new integrations with Google Docs and Sheets directly in your chats, and I'll tell you all about Instagram's new test, unskippable in-stream ads. After that, we'll get on to the main event, a detailed guide on how you can run geo-targeted YouTube ads to capture seller intent leads. Let's jump in. Today's video's got a lot of ground to cover. We're talking about news and updates first. I'm going to talk about some changes happening with Instagram ads. I'm going to talk about some changes happening with your Google business profile, some changes happening with TikTok and what's going on with that whole, situation with TikTok. And then the main event of today's video is a step-by-step tutorial on how to run YouTube in-stream ads. Those are the commercials that play before, during, and after other videos that you're trying to watch on YouTube. And so I can teach you today, and I will teach you today, exactly how to target in-market sellers in your local community so you can generate more listings. This is going to be an episode you don't want to miss one single moment of, so welcome to This Week in Marketing. My name is Jason Pantana. I'm your host, and I'm super glad you tuned in today. If you're new to the channel, it would be so incredible. We'd be so grateful if you would please like this video, maybe share it with a friend, maybe subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in your feed so you can be the first alerted whenever new marketing tactics like what we cover here today happen. We can present it to you on a weekly basis. Now, like I've already alluded to, we got a lot of ground to cover. So let's dive in. All right, kicking things off, we got some news and updates, quite a few news and updates to talk about when it comes to your marketing, beginning with what's going on with ChatGPT. You're likely aware that recently ChatGPT has announced the big release of their brand new model, which is ChatGPT 4.0, and then lots of other announcements came with that news, like the enhanced voice mode and a bunch of other features, but one that nobody really talked much about was the integration and improvement of what's called data analysis. Now, if you're using ChatGPT, like I'm logged in right now in my own ChatGPT, and I am paying for ChatGPT Plus, some of these features are limited to the paid subscribers, but they've given it a fresh new look, kind of a refresh on the user interface. It looks a little bit better here. And you can see I've got the ChatGPT 4.0 as an Omni model selected, but down here is the paperclip icon, which has been there for a long time. That is the data analysis feature whereby you can upload data. You could upload documents or spreadsheets or audio files or video files. And so ChatGPT can work with a lot of media beyond just text. You can upload PDFs and all kinds of fun stuff. However, this little button right here, the paperclip, has gotten some improvements with the latest updates that came from the announcement of ChatGPT 4.0, whereby now it can connect with other applications like Google Drive, for instance. And so if I click it here, you'll see that I've got my Google Drive already connected. You can also connect your Microsoft OneDrive, personal or business, which I'm not a user of that. But if I click on Google Drive, I can bring my spreadsheets and documents inside of ChatGPT. And let me show you how that works. So I'm going to click on Add from Google Drive. You just find the document or the spreadsheet you're looking for, like this one here. I made up a fake spreadsheet called This Week in Marketing, Jason Pantana, and it's a bunch of fake MLS data just to show you how this thing works. I'm going to click on Select, and it's going to load this in for a second. Then I can ask it questions, and I'm going to say, analyze this data set and find the current absorption rate. Boom. And what's going to happen is it puts the spreadsheet in line in my chat, and it's analyzing right now. It's going to do the math. All these are fake addresses. I went to ChatGPT and said, give me data, 50 fake MLSs between certain thresholds. But what's awesome here is I can actually click on a specific cell and I can reply and I can work with this in just that specific cell. And you can make this spreadsheet bigger or smaller so that your chat actually becomes the sidebar. This new feature right here is really, really ridiculous if you're ever trying to figure out how to better program your spreadsheets or your documents and you want a generative AI inside of them. ChatGPT does that. Next up in marketing news is related to Instagram. They are tinkering yet again, testing a new advertising placement. Now, a placement when it comes to ads on Instagram or Facebook or any meta platform are the different places somebody's ad can run. So for example, it could run in Messenger, it could run in the Reels feed, it could run in the Stories feed. There's different places, i.e. placements, where it can run, and they're testing a new placement that has the internet literally in an upheaval right now. If you look at this Reddit forum, for example, it says, ad break, i.e. unskippable ads, now on Instagram. And you can see it's like, this is what it looks like with the Michael Kors one. It's an ad break whereby you have to watch for like 5 seconds or 3 seconds. It depends upon the duration before you can proceed in scrolling. This is new because really in marketing, there's two kinds of advertising. There's native advertising, which blends in. So think about traditional Facebook and Instagram ads. They blend in. You're scrolling through the feeds and, oh, there's an ad, but I can keep scrolling. Nobody's handcuffed me to the feed. I can just keep on moving with my own discretion. And then there are interruption styled ads. So think about YouTube in-stream ads, which I will talk about later in this video. There are fantastic in a lot of respects, but they interrupt you. And so you have to be comfortable with interrupting the viewer from doing what it is they want to do. And how's that gonna be perceived? It's accepted on YouTube, but on Instagram, I don't think people are very happy about it. So I'm curious if and when these get approved. At the time I'm filming this video, they're not yet approved. They're being tested. But if and when they do get approved, would you run these ad break ad campaigns in Instagram whereby somebody cannot skip it? And you may be saying like, well, Jason, I don't know if I could control it or not. Well, you likely will be able to control this placement. In fact, you've always been able to control the placements of your ad campaigns inside of Meta's Ads Manager. So for example, I've got my Meta Ads campaign open up here. I'm just tinkering. I'm currently at the ad set level, and there's a box called placements. It will be by default on the Advantage Plus, but you can change it to manual just to see where it might decide to run your campaign. And you can say yay or nay to different placements on Facebook, Audience Network, Instagram, Messenger, and it shows you all the different feeds, stories and reels, in-stream ads for videos and reels. You're like, well, Jason, it's already there with the in-stream ads for videos and reels. Not quite. These are different. These ads have been there. It shows you what they look like. These have been there for a while. They're not on top of the video you're trying to watch, they're in between it. So you scroll and oh, there's an ad. And then you can scroll again. This will be the first time that Instagram has ever created an ad placement that literally handcuffs you to say, hey, this is a break. Now think about Amazon Prime. If you're watching videos there, they have a lot of commercials where you have to watch an ad before you can continue. Think about YouTube. Of course, they have their non-skippable in-stream ad formats as well. And then Facebook Watch has tinkered in this space, but this is definitely new for Instagram. They are turning over something new. I'm curious, what do you think about it? In other less controversial news, your Google Business Profile is taking a feature away that you probably didn't even know existed, which is the chat functionality. So when you think of the different ways a customer could perceivably find you on Google through your Google Business Profile, they could visit your website, they could call you, which is what they would typically do, they could get directions to your location, your storefront, or they could chat with you. Most people don't use the chat feature, and surprise, surprise, Google's taking it away. So effective on July 15th, the chat functionality will officially be gone. So just as a heads up, if you're a business, like 1 out of a million that's getting a ton of leads through the chat feature of Google Business Profiles, you probably already know this, but in case you don't, it's going away. Okay, moving on. And one last bit of juicy news when it comes to marketing is centered around TikTok and all the controversy of is it or isn't it going to get banned in the US? And that seems to be, sort of a story that keeps evolving. But the latest is that TikTok has apparently been working on a US-based version of its feed for about the past year, because a lot of the issues with the whole TikTok debacle is TikTok's looking at so many different data signals. It's analyzing and maybe going too far in terms of predicting what it is you'd want to see based upon what it can observe about you. It sees too much, it knows too much, it analyzes too much, and so that's a little bit discomforting from a privacy standpoint. And so the big question this article here on Social Media Today poses is, would it still be TikTok if it didn't have its all-knowing feed showing you the content you're most interested in all the time? I'm curious, what do you think about everything happening in the TikTok issue in terms of will it or won't it get banned in the US? Let me know in the chat. That does it for news and marketing updates. Now, I've got a killer strategy to help you attract more sellers in your local area. If you've been with me for a while, you know I'm a huge fan of YouTube in-stream ads. Those are, again, the commercials I play before, during, or after other videos you're trying to watch on YouTube. And I love these ads for many reasons. They grab attention, they're incredibly cost effective, and since they're technically Google ads, you get all the goodies of precise audience targeting. This means you can aim your ads at exactly the right audience, i.e. local sellers. Let me show you how to do it, and I'll share the top 3 videos to run with these ads. Now, first things first, I want to dive into how YouTube ads are technically actually Google ads. There's different ways to run YouTube ads. You may be familiar with the promotion option. So if you have a YouTube video, there is an option where you can click like the money button and you can promote it, but the audience targeting is way, way, way more restricted compared to what I'm going to show you. What I'm going to show you requires getting into your Google Ads Manager, which is ads.google.com. You'll need to have an ad account. You'll need to link that ad account to your YouTube channel. That gives you the right to promote your channel's YouTube videos. So open the settings where you give it your credit card. There's also an option for you to link it to your YouTube channel. Those are sort of prerequisites that have to be done before you get into what I'm looking at here. And so I'm going to open up a new campaign. You can see that the first thing it wants to know is, what's your campaign objective? I typically say I don't have a campaign objective because I'll define it later on. So no goal. And then it's like, okay, well, what kind of campaign? These are Google ads. So we have lots. We could do search ads, display ads. I want video ads. It says reach viewers on YouTube and get conversions. Sounds like a plan. We're gonna leave this here at video views. It's fine the way it is. That's the campaign subtype. Click continue and it takes us out of the dispatch and it puts us into our actual campaign builder. And you can see here I'm on it's June 3rd when I'm filming this. So I'm gonna just call this week in marketing demo. That's gonna be what I call my campaign. And I'm gonna point out to you today all the things I think you need to look at. What are the different boxes and settings that need to be adjusted? And if I don't touch it, you don't need to look at it because you can leave it at its default setting. And I want to point out to you that it's going to leave the bid strategy right here at a target CPV. That stands for a target cost per view. You're only going to pay for views. At some point, we're going to have to define how much we're willing to pay to get a view, but that's at the very end. And then it wants to know budget and dates. I like to do, or I'm going to recommend you would consider $100 over the next 2 weeks, hypothetically. So it's going to spend about $6.67 a day for the next roughly 15 days, $100, super duper. Moving on to the next, and this is their locations. You can target your geographic area. And so I'm going to click on enter another location. And you can get into an advanced search and you could do a mapped area, a radius around a specific focal point in your city, for instance. I'm going to keep things simple and just say Nashville, Tennessee, where I live. And I can do this DMA. DMA stands for a designated market area. Nielsen put these different areas out for the greater metropolitan area of Nashville or Atlanta or Los Angeles or whatever. That's mostly for like television commercials and it just carried over. I'm going to do the actual city of Nashville and click target. So I'm targeting the city of Nashville because maybe that's where I want to generate some listings, hypothetically. Scroll on down, scroll on down, scroll on down. And the next section that matters is the audience, where you can tap into Google's audiences and target your YouTube ads to the people that Google thinks are within the audiences we can define right here. We have lots of different options. Now, the first of these audiences that we're going to expand is the one that says interest and detailed demographics. I'm going to click on the expand button right there. And you'll see it's got some pre-built options that we're going to completely ignore. And I'm going to put my cursor here in the search bar. By doing that, I've got two options. I can search or browse. I'm going to choose the browse. And it has these different categories of different interest or demographics that I can target to define the audiences of who I want to see my ad campaigns. The first one I want to look at is called detailed demographics. I'm going to expand that, and you'll see that home ownership status is one of the demographics you can target. So you could potentially target people who are in your geographic area. I define Nashville, who are homeowners. Cool. I'm going to collapse that. And I'm going to collapse detailed demographics. I'm going to look at in market next. If I go into in market, I can scroll down and I'm going to look for real estate. I'm going to expand real estate. I'm going to look at residential properties, expand that. I'm going to look at the ones that are not for rent, but for sale. I'm going to expand that. Homes for sale or apartments for sale. We'll expand that. New homes or pre-owned. I'll take either or and check that box. Now, the way this is being understood is, okay, Google's like, I got to target people who are in this geographic area or at least interested in that area, Nashville, and they must either be homeowners or they must be in this market. They're interested in homes for sale. So it's an either or. It's not a yes and, so to speak. Now, let's collapse in market and go back to our list. And I want to look at life events this time. If I expand life events and I scroll down, job change, moving. Ooh, moving looks good. Let's expand moving. Moving soon? Yeah, that's a good one to look at. They can fit in that audience too. If I collapse moving and I look down to purchasing a home, Google has an audience of people in your marketplace who it believes are purchasing a home soon. Yeah, that's a good one to target too, because a lot of buyers are sellers and sellers are buyers. And so, yes, why not do all of the above, right? So let's collapse life events. And there's one more, and this is maybe my favorite audience. You can see the ones I've already added up here so far. They're up in this list. It could be add any interest, detailed demographic, or life events to your related to your customers. And they can be in this group or this group or this group or this group, so long as they are in my geographic area, which is Nashville, either in or interested in Nashville. Now, if I click from browse to search, I'm going to search for one called real estate agents, plural. You'll have to scroll down to find this one. It's kind of buried in here. But when you find it, there it is. Boom. I'm going to check it. But if you hover over it, it will tell you what are some of the terms they're searching on Google. And you're like, well, wait a minute, I thought we were running a YouTube ad. You are running a YouTube ad. These are the terms they're searching on Google that would make Google believe they should be a part of your market on YouTube. Do you get it? I get it. I think it's awesome. I'm going to expand this, and it says, for example, which real estate agent? Broker for real estate. It says realtor, I keep messing up. It says realtor reviews, real estate agents near me. These are people who are searching for agents. Now, what do buyers typically search on Google? Well, buyers are much more likely to search for homes. Homes under $1 million, homes on the waterfront, homes on the lake, homes on a golf course, etc. What do sellers search for? Well, they might search for what their home is worth, but that's generally a search where they're trying to figure out, could I, should I, maybe I'll sell, maybe I won't. They're getting some information. But if you have a seller who's searching for a real estate agent, they're looking to interview listing agents. Yes, please. By targeting this audience, you're putting your video ad campaign directly in front of what Google would probably describe as the highest intent seller traffic on the internet in your local marketplace. Can I get a yes in the comments, please? You can see I get kind of excited about these campaigns. So here we have our audiences, homeowners, or they're interested, they're in market, meaning Google thinks they're likely to do something about this. They're in market for a house purchase, for houses for sale. They're moving soon. They're purchasing a home soon. Some of these are life events. Some of these are in market. In market typically means that Google has evidence to support that they're looking to make a consumer decision of some type. And then this other in market, it's buried in other called real estate agents. They're literally Google searching for the best realtors in your local marketplace. It's any or all of these. It's not like a Venn diagram where they start canceling each other out, where they have to be a homeowner and moving soon and purchasing soon, and it's going to cancel out to zero. It's or, not and, or, so long as they are in your geographically defined area or at least interested in that geo-defined area. All right, so we're going to keep on moving down. I can collapse interest and details. We're done with this whole audience section. You're going to scroll down all the way. You can skip everything until you get down to your actual create your video ads. And all it needs here is a link from the YouTube video that you want to run. Now, I promised you I was going to share 3 different videos that are useful in terms of generating seller leads, in terms of being positioned as the dominant listing agent in your marketplace. And the first one is an obvious one. That's listing videos. You showing off your listings, you being the picture perfect dream agent that every prospective seller in your marketplace wants to hire. So you're like, wait a minute, Jason, I'm going to create listing videos touring my listings and then target sellers? Yes. Now we're targeting buyers too. We're looking for people who are looking to buy a home soon, all the above, because it's all comes out in the wash. Buyers are sellers, sellers are buyers. It's circular in that regard, but we're going to create a crazy amount of attention and consideration for not only the listing, the seller wins, hooray, but also you win, because we're going to position you as that future seller's dream listing agent. Now, here I am on the screen. You can see I'm looking at Carpenter Kessel, a rock star team down in Florida. I'm looking at their YouTube page, and you see lots of property tours. And in fact, here's a good one where Dwayne, the lead agent over on the Carpenter Kessel team, is touring one of his new listings. So all I would need to do is grab this listing, specifically by its URL, click share right there, and I'm gonna just copy the link like so. I don't need anything else. I'm just going to copy the link to the already published YouTube video, and I'm going to paste that link right here in the Your YouTube Video section of creating your video ads for these YouTube campaigns. And it's saying your video is longer than 3 minutes. I don't care. Ignore it. Add a vertical video option. If you want to, go for it, but you don't have to. And you can do more if you want. You can say, hey, where am I going to drive traffic to? In the event somebody clicks a link, or they click the learn more button on my ad campaign, where does it send them to? So maybe this listing has its own web page on your website, and you would want to put that web page there. So for example, here is the actual web page featuring Carpenter Kessel's listing right here. So all I would need to do is copy this URL. So I simply select the link, right click it, you copy the link, and then you jump right back over to your Google ad campaign, and you can simply then paste the link right here. Boom, just like that. And it automatically changed it from HTTP to HTTPS because it recognized this was an SSL encrypted web page. Yay for that. Then you get down to your call to action section, and you can make it have a button. So look here right now at the link. And then if I click on call to action, it will give it a button right there. And then I can put what it is. I could say learn more, something like that here. And then you can give it a longer headline. And then you can give it a longer headline, then description, which I'm not going to do right now in the video, but these are required fields. And it gives you 10 characters here. And then this one gives you 30 characters. And then this one gives you 90 and then 90. You don't need to worry about the add URL options here. Ignore that. And then scroll all the way down to the last section. We're almost done, and that's your bid, where it wants to know what's your target cost per view bid. And it's telling you we think you should bid 5 cents because that's the going rate in this target marketplace. So guess what I'm going to do? $0.05. done. And then it will give me my estimated performance. I'm running this campaign, hypothetically here, in the Nashville area, targeting the different audience I listed to you, for $100 over the next 2 weeks for like 15 days-ish, about $6.67 per day, with a 5-cent bid. What that means is I'm willing to pay up to 5 cents to get a single view. What's a view? That means somebody has to watch it for at least 30 seconds. What if they skip my ad campaign after 5 seconds? Well, it doesn't matter. This is a skippable in-stream ad, but I'm only paying for a view, and a view is defined as either A, they watched my ad for at least 30 seconds, or B, they saw my ad somewhere else and they intentionally on their own clicked it and opened it. Either way, it's a high intent action. One of the things I love about YouTube ads is you're only paying for the views that count. You're only paying for the people who actually want to see what you're targeting, positioning you as the seller's dream agent. Now, again, look at our campaign estimates. This campaign's estimated to get about 4.2 to 8.6 thousand views over the next 2 weeks, with an average cost per view between 1 cent to 4 cents, and it's gonna use up almost all the budget. My goodness, yes, yes, yes. That's a ridiculously cost-effective strategy for getting attention that's hard to get on other platforms because it's so easy to ignore stuff, but these are hard to ignore. Now, like I said, I promised you 3 different kinds of videos that would perform best in terms of accompanying these skippable in-stream ads. One is, of course, the listing tour where you are the rockstar listing agent, touring the property, making your seller proud, and demonstrating to other future sellers how you could also serve their interest and represent their homes for sale in the same amazing way as with this specific video. The second kind of ad or second kind of video that you might consider running is market update videos. Position yourself as the knowledge broker. Talk about what homes are worth and what's happening and where they're trading and what's going on and what are the trends, so that a seller feels confident reaching out to you because they know that you know what's best in terms of the marketplace and in guiding their maneuvers through that marketplace to bring about the best possible results in the sale of their home. And then last is promoting any specific seller campaigns or seller programs. For example, some of you who are watching might have guaranteed offers, or you might have a very, very unique value proposition. You want to make sellers in the marketplace aware of what you can do for them based upon your value proposition. So whether it's a listing tour, whether it's a value proposition, whether it's a market update, those are 3 kinds of videos that lend themselves very well to future sellers, and the targeting options on Google are insane. YouTube ads, YouTube ads, YouTube ads. I'm gonna keep on preaching it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found today's episode to be incredibly useful and valuable and insightful to help you in your marketing quest for greatness. Drop a comment or reach out to me on social media with any questions. I wanna know how you're working the strategies into your business and how they're doing for you. Until next week, this is This Week in Marketing.